Okay, I'm here with Steve Loughlin. He's the president and CEO of AffinityCircles. How you doing, Steve?
Great, how are you doing?
Enjoying the show so far?
It's a blast, yeah.
All right.
First 2 hours.
Cool. So you have an interesting company here, and I want to talk to you a little bit about it. But tell us about AffinityCircles. What do you guys do?
So AffinityCircles builds trusted social networks for universities and trade associations. It specializes in creating opportunities for those members within the network based on their affiliation with that organization. And so we've been doing this for almost 4 years now. And some of the networks that we work with are Stanford University, Berkeley, Dartmouth, the Texas Bar Association, to name a few. And we now work with over 110 networks. Probably the most notable network we work with now is the IIT system in India, which has some pretty coveted engineers as part of it that a lot of companies are looking to become a part of. But the core of our company and the real foundation is the idea that people are part of these organizations and these communities, and there's a lot of people that want to help them, and there's a lot of people that want to be helped by being a part of these communities, and our platform Circle is really the vehicle for them to be able to do that.
Okay. Now, I know your origin started at Stanford University. Talk about your origin, because to me it's a very similar startup like Facebook was, but talk about that and how you differ from them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great question. So we started out of Stanford, and the initial technology was just a social network for socializing with undergrads. And the president of Stanford's Alumni Association saw the initial prototype and said this would be great to connect our community and make it exclusive and trusted for the Stanford community only. And so Circle was born. We deployed it in January of 2003. And we now have 70,000 Stanford alums on that network, helping each other find jobs, connecting when they're traveling, getting expert advice on various things. And so the most interesting thing as far as the recruitment space, which is relevant here, is when we started the company, there was a couple of us in a little office on University Avenue in Palo Alto, like most startups. And as we started to scale the business, we realized we needed more people. And so the way that we hired was actually out of our Stanford network. So if you go into our office, a lot of our employees are from Stanford. A lot of them have an athletic background, which kind of the core members of our team have. A few of us ran track at Stanford together. And so we've really been able to kind of foster that referral system within our company culture, and it dovetails great with the whole concept of the employer profile, which we're just launching into the market today, which is a way for employers to interact with our communities. And it was based on the concept that we have these great networks of great people that want to help each other, and employers also covet some of these networks, and so how do we give them an opportunity to interact with the network without breaking the trust of the network? And so that's how that whole concept was born. So it's really all about, for example, there's people that work at Google at Stanford that want to help other Stanford alumni and students get jobs there. And how can we help Stanford, the student that's looking for a job, the job seeker, and someone who works at Google all connect and provide that referral and that introduction to the company.
Okay, now talk about the new product. Talk about how you employer would set this up with you guys and
Absolutely.
How that works.
So it's in its first version, and we have 5 customers that are actually part of our preferred program that wanted to start with us. And so,
beta test?
Yeah, they're actually paying customers. They're actually really excited about it, which is great. And some marquee customers like Lam Research, Google's actually working with us as well.
Oh yeah?
We're allowing them to put their jobs content into the network, and we're presenting, when people do searches or looking for Google or people that work at Google, we'll present a profile that really speaks to who the company is, describes their career opportunities, shows their job listings, and then also shows people in the network that can help them get that job and how they know them. And we're really going to look to build that functionality out. We're looking at it as just the start of a way for a company to create an identity within a trusted social network.
Right.
I think it's going to add a lot of value to our users. So you'll see things coming down the pipeline like employers will be able to create videos, they'll be able to sponsor groups, they'll be able to create content within the network that's valuable to our users and helps attract the top talent.
Right.
Which is one of the reasons we think these networks are so valuable is there's a lot of passive candidates in there, and and they all come from kind of the same training and background. And so,
Is this related to employee alumni networks too, kind of? Can you work that in as well?
yeah,
Or is
that's a good question. So we've been looking at that. We've actually talked to some companies about building a network